So I just chatted with this young Jewish man and talked to him about Jesus. And unfortunately, we got cut off. I'm not sure why. I think it might have been a network glitch. OMI TV's not very good at network stuff. So yeah, please pray for him. Hello. Can I ask
Hello.
you? Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What do you believe happens when you die?
I guess intuitively I feel like I believe in resurrection,
Okay.
but I'm not a deeply religious person, if that's part
Okay.
of your question.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So do you believe in God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the belief isn't I'm not quick to call myself agnostic, but I think there is a
Yeah.
suspicion,
Yeah.
but I do believe in some sort of um grander power,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's always good to keep our minds open, right? Like, pretty
Sure.
with
I just hate to be indecisive,
yeah,
but
that is true.
I don't want to be
Totally.
that guy, but
That's right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point. Don't want to be indecisive, but
exactly.
okay. So let me ask you something. So if there is a God of heaven and earth that created the universe, and uh, would it be reasonable to believe that he has certain rules that he wants us to follow?
I think the the thing I more so subscribe to is that like God as creator rather than like puppeteer, for lack of a better word,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Whether you want to call God the Big Bang or whatever, just
Okay.
the creation of it,
Yeah.
and then his power over what we decide. Um, isn't he's not so he doesn't have his hands in the mix as much as
Right.
I think
Right.
that's more.
Okay. That's an interesting concept. Um,
Well, Well, I think that that also like leads into like free will and like, because
yeah.
if God did have his hands in everything, there's that question of like, why would he allow sins to happen? Why
Oh,
would he allow tragedies to
that's
happen?
actually a really good one. That's actually a really good one. And on a mass scale, he doesn't allow it.
Mm,
In certain circumstances, it depends on what his will is for the earth. For example, back in the Old Testament, the Israelites were told to kill man, woman, and child in the land of Canaan.
mm,
And the reason that they were is because those people took their little babies and sacrificed them unto their false gods and burned them alive.
right.
And they
Like
kept
pagan
doing it.
worship.
Yeah. They kept doing it for 430 years. And he kept sending them prophets to tell them to quit, and they refused. And so finally he says, Israel, go in there, take the land, and wipe them out. Now, now there's many reasons why he might do that. Um, if you might imagine, with that pretty bad sin, um, the world could go pretty badly if they took over, couldn't it?
Sure,
Like,
sure.
and so God knows all these things. We don't. He knows like
Hmm.
everything that could possibly happen, and so He does intervene sometimes, but there's a lot of times where He won't, like in our individual lives, and it's because He deems free will as so much more important that he's not going to interfere because of that. But at the
Mm,
end, there
mm,
will be a judgment,
right.
and
Okay.
everyone that has done evil will be punished. Now, let me ask you a quick question. So, have you ever stolen anything, even as a
Not
kid?
well. I think I must have. Like
Yeah,
I've never stolen something from like.
sure. Yeah, some people can say they're sure they did. Some people can not be so sure because they don't
I
remember.
think you
But
know what? I'm thinking back. I stole an apple from my college's like,
there you
I just
go.
stuffed that in. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're a thief. Okay, that's awesome. Um,
It was
okay.
$1 as
Okay,
fresh
so
produce.
yep, exactly. So next question would be: have you ever been angry at someone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Everybody's been angry at others, right?
yeah.
Have you ever thought you wish somebody could just die?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? That's pretty
I
good.
don't. Well, I don't think so. I mean,
Maybe once.
maybe certain politicians or something, but
Starting with a T or something. But
but not nobody in my personal life. Nothing like
no.
even people I dislike.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
quick to do that.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's awesome.
Right.
So the Bible, tells us that all who have sinned will be punished unless they accept the sacrifice of Jesus. If Now imagine this: you go to court, you've committed some crimes, and you're standing before the judge, and you say, "Judge, I've been really trying to live my life really well. Could you just give me a pass on these?" What is he going to say?
No. I
No,
mean,
because he
good
wouldn't be a
intention there, but yeah.
yeah, he wouldn't be a good judge, would he?
Mm,
That would be
right.
terrible. Like somebody's murdered somebody. Why would he do that? Like that's horrible.
Hmm.
You think, right? Well, God's actually the same way. Exact same way. He will not allow evil to go unpunished. That stealing of that apple, because of the holiness of God, because of how infinitely crazy holy he is and glorious he is worthy of death. It seems weird to us, but our imperfection makes us worthy of death. But it gets worse, right? Our lives are much worse than that. We not only steal, but we think evil of others, we judge others, we all do all these bad things. But Jesus, God wanted, because God is holy, perfectly holy, perfect in every way. Imagine if you were standing on the side of a road and you were talking to somebody, and the person's just gets mad at you, and they turn around and say, I don't want to talk to you," and they walk into the street and get hit by a truck. Okay.
Mm.
Are you going to go, he was just an idiot, whatever, and you walk away? Or are you going to call 911 and try to get him some help?
You're gonna call 911. You're gonna.
Exactly. Why? Because you think you're a
Right.
good person, right?
Sure.
Yeah, even though he was a jerk, you want to do the
Well,
right thing.
it's human duty, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And you know that. You know that inside of you.
Mhm.
God is the same way. Adam and Eve sinned in the garden, and he said, I have to give them a way back to me. I
Right.
must. I am duty bound. People say God's all powerful, he can do whatever he wants. It's true that he's all powerful, but he can't do whatever he wants. He
There's
has
a
to,
set of laws
yeah,
in
he
place.
has to adhere to his own holiness because it is his very nature to be holy,
Mm,
to be good,
right.
to be
This is
kind.
very interesting because I just got off from watching a movie for my theology class.
Oh,
I watched Jesus Christ Superstar.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting. I've never seen it actually.
it was a lot of
Was it
it
pretty
was
funny?
fun, but it was also like a very well made movie.
Interesting.
I quite liked it. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
sorry,
cool.
tangent.
No
But
worries. Um, so yeah, it's all very interesting. So the way that God has provided for us to come back to Him is through a sacrifice. Now, initially, He gave blood sacrifices. They would kill goats and sheep and stuff like that as an
hmm
atonement for their sin, and that's why
right, or
culture.
your sons if you're
If
you
you're
know
bad, exactly.
yeah. But
Um,
then he's like, oh nope, don't kill your son. That was a test.
that's right.
Um,
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's right.
yeah,
And in
and
fact,
that
he abhors it, right?
right, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm more Old Testament. I'm Jewish, so
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, no, I love the Jews. It's unfortunate that many of them don't believe in their own Messiah, but but I love them. Um, because one of the reasons I love them is because it is through them that salvation to the world came. Like through the oracles of God came through the Jews, right?
Right,
And
right.
so how can I be upset at that? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome. Like,
That's right. Exactly.
yeah.
And so yeah, so ultimately those sacrifices and cultures throughout the world, like so many cultures that are completely independent of that line of Judaism and Christianity and all of that, they all did these sacrifices. Why? Because it came from the original Adam and Eve. That's why.
Mm,
It was established way back then. And
right.
a quick side tangent, maybe we'll talk about this later. I believe in the Big Bang.
Okay.
And I can explain more about that later. But so anyhow, so God, because the blood of bulls and of goats and all of that couldn't quite atone for sin in the way that God needed,
Mm-hmm.
he established this plan to bring a Messiah. And that Messiah would suffer. He would live this life perfectly and sinlessly, and he would suffer and he would die on the cross for our sins. He would be the sacrifice. The crazy thing is this Messiah wasn't just anybody. Nobody can live a sinlessly perfect life. No
Mm-hmm.
human can do that. It is impossible. So what he had to do was he had to say, I love them so much. I love them as much as myself. I will come down and I will become a man. I will live that life perfectly and become that perfect sacrifice for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I will die on that cross and they will be able to turn to me. And once they accept my sacrifice, they will be forever saved. And they will know me forever and ever and ever. And it is only through that sacrifice, through that Jewish Messiah, that we can have our sin atoned for.
Mm.
And so yeah, I don't know. So I guess one question I would have is, so assuming I'm right and assuming you believe, when is a good time to accept his sacrifice? Oh shit. No. Oh my goodness. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps promote the video in the Google algorithms. Also, if you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon on it, you won't miss out on future content. I also would appreciate you putting a comment below. You can let me know what you most liked about the video. That'll help me gauge how I'm doing and what I can do better, that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks.